Hey, so we had our every year my family goes on a camping trip with my sisters and brother and their kids. And every year I'm in charge of deciding where we go. You would think it's a wonderful task, but there's a lot of pressure. Every year, there's something to complain about, and who gets blamed for it? This lady. So far we have been to Deception Pass, Sequest, Cape Disappointment, Fort Worden, Larrabee. This year I selected Birch Bay. Birch Bay is where, when I was a little girl, my cousins and I went crabbing at Birch Bay with my uncle, and so I knew that it could be a wonderful spot. I knew that it had a beach, I knew that it had a park and bike riding and a little mini mart, so I thought that this could really be a good choice for our group. Now, a couple things happened on this camping trip that made it very special. Number one, we brought along my baby niece, Harper. This was her very first camping trip ever. Her mom had her wisdom teeth out, so she was out of commission, and I wanted to bring Harper anyways. I thought she would be fun. The drive is about a 2-ish hour drive from the Seattle area to the Birch Bay area. However, because Seattle is a nightmare with traffic, it took some of us a little bit longer than that. Now, Pat actually drove my stepdad's truck and trailer to the campsite for my sister and her husband and their kids. Once we got to the campsite, we set everything up and we hit the road on bikes. Who did we find? Where's Savannah?
She's at home, but last time Savannah went camping. She flew up in the tent.
That's kind of what I heard. Harper! Hi! What did you find? You can't crawl on the dirt, you silly baby. What's wrong with you? Are you ready to walk? Are you ready to walk? Let's go, let's go. You're pretty strong. Okay. Be gentle, because he's just a little guy. Yeah, look at their campsite. So neat. Look at all their lights. Uh-oh. I don't know what's happening.
And you think I have a navigator?
This guy means business. Our site was not too far from the beach. The kids went back and forth to the beach, and there was a park next to the beach. We set up a volleyball court on the giant field down there. Nick, can you teach us how to skip a rock?
Flat one, flat side like that.
Okay.
And you kind of want to put side on and low. Like that.
Wow. Oh, and do you know how to skip a rock? That was pretty good. That was pretty good too. We also rode bikes to the little mini mart that was nearby. There was a biking incident where some man nearly ran me over on his bike. Ah! I will be sharing that in an LPS stories soon. But just know, it was alarming. She came out of nowhere. Harper was a champ. She loved playing with all of her cousins, and she actually slept really well. I gave her a flashlight, or actually Pat gave her a little flashlight to have in her bed with her. I set up a pack and play in our tent, and she shined. Are you gonna go night-night? I love you. My little baby nephew Bo also was an adorable sleeping baby, so not to be outdone by Harper. He had his moment to shine too. My creepy brother-in-laws were there. They're still creepy. We had dinners. My sister brings the spaghetti dinner. It was delish.
Go grab a bowl
nutrition.
and plate right over there.
Nutrition.
Making out.
You even
That's
worse.
what I'm waiting. Every time you see me pumping gas,
Who do you got? Did Yaya come? Oh, you lucky duck. You got your grandma.
She doesn't know me as grandma.
I just like to call you that.
Oh.
You got your granny. Little granny. Pat and I went to get coffee in the morning and kept driving. We ended up going to Semiahmoo Resorts, which is kind of a great big resort in Washington. You hear, like, I see a lot of Groupons about this resort, but I've never been to it. Turns out Semiahmoo is on what Pat referred to as a spit. Oh, let's just drive down to the spit. Let's check out the spit. That word just was used too much. Apparently Semiahmoo is on this point of Washington state where you could actually take a ferry across the water and be in Canada. And Pat kept calling it a spit, but I Googled it to get him to stop calling it a spit, and it was called a spit on Google too, so wrong again. Look at that giant train. Stretches all the way to Canada. That's the biggest train ever. I thought this baby bird was injured, and then I bent down to see it, and these guys just were not happy with that idea. There was a campfire ban in place, so my brother, being one of the campers of the year, he went and got a propane gas, whatever, fireplace tank. I don't know what those, fire pit. So there was plenty of singing and joking and storytelling around the fire pit after all.
wear socks, cause their feet get sweaty when their feet get hot. Kathy's got socks on.
Them good old boys drinking whiskey and rye, singing this will be the day that I die.
You want a lover with an easy touch. You want somebody who'll spend some time. Not come and go in a heated rush. Baby, baby,
You gotta stay back from that fire, buddy.
it's been a long day, baby. When you're looking around and you were looking at me, baby. Try as I may, I could never explain what I hear when you don't say a thing.
While the fire pit was very cool and maybe a little expensive, I'd like to say that I brought something to the table this year as well, something new and different. I brought a, well, I had told Cameron, my little niece, that I would bring a slime craft table with all of the slime ingredients, because they've been watching Miley's videos and they know that she can make slime, whatever. I forgot to do that, and first thing when I got there, she was like, where is the slime table? So I actually went to the store and got all of the slime materials, and we did set up a slime table after all.
So how do
Anybody else? I want to make sure that we don't run out.
we put the whole thing? Well, you're making pink. Oh, it's making solar.
Yeah, there's blue, there's green, yellow, orange.
Look at this. It's like skin right here. And then we mix it in, then we're done.
It does.
Nice color grading.
I don't like making slime.
Like it. Everyone got slime. Some of them got it in containers, and some of them got it on the ground and in their shoes and in their hair, but everyone got slime. These campgrounds are actually also really close to some water slides, the Birch Bay water slides. I didn't want to go on the water slides. It was hot, it looked crowded. I was not interested, but the kids won that war and we took them to the water slides. Are you hot? You ready to jump in some water? think that ended up being like the highlight of the kids' trip. So I'm glad that we did end up taking them to the water slides. They probably could have even spent a little more time there. I did get an ice cream cone, so I mean, that made me happy at least. And that was our trip. It was so much fun. I really feel like between the water slides and the craft table and all the bike riding, it may have cinched the deal as the kids' favorite camping trip yet. Birch Bay, I don't know. We every year talk about which camping trip was the #1 most favorite. Every year it's usually Deception Pass, but it does vary a little bit. And this year I heard a lot of people saying Birch Bay was the best one yet. I don't know how we're gonna beat it next year. I've got my eyes on Fort Casey, looking at Alder Lake, Rife Lake. My brother said to check out Lake Sylvia. I don't know. These are all places that I should probably start scouting so that I can make sure I pick a good one. Have you been camping this summer? Tell me all about the cool places that you've been to. And if you haven't been camping, do you even want to go camping? I mean, it's pretty dirty. There are a lot of bugs. I'm gonna put that out there right now. But I hope you have a great week. Bye.
You are the best thing